Well, it turns out I don't know how to live stream. Hello, welcome back to Be Continued. I'm sorry for this weird impromptu video. I tried to go live stream. I did for like 35 minutes, and there was no audio. So, this is kind of this weird impromptu video in replace of that until I figure out how to live stream and do the first episode 1 of the To Be Continued Live. So the first topic I want to discuss is Donald Trump's plan for quote unquote US expansion. He's been talking about the Panama Canal, Greenland, and Canada. I want to give my thoughts on the possibilities and the likelihood of each one. So, from most likely to least likely, in my opinion, is the Panama Canal, Greenland, and then Canada. Because the Panama Canal, we have the Treaty of Torrijos and Carter, which has a stipulation that if the United States somehow gets ripped off, the United States, or like as a foreign threat that threatens like the canal for like U.S. security or something, the United States can take it back. And I believe this is kind of how the most likely way that the United States can regain the Panama Canal, because you got reports of Chinese interference, and the United States can easily, invoke that section of the treaty. The next is Greenland. The most obvious reason is the mineral wealth that lies underneath the ice. However, I don't see Denmark giving it up, or like they have to be offered a really sweet deal in order to give it up. Then the most unlikely is Canada. Canada and the United States will probably not merge, probably until near 200-ish years. I don't see how, one, they will want to join the United States, two, join as a single state. Like if they were somehow to join, they would most likely want to form their own, like each the province of Canada would want to be their own state. I think kind of most likely with Canada is I did read on X that there's like the O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy, not Cuban. It's the idea of like an EU type system where like combined economies but separate nations. That could be interesting. Who knows? But you know, if all this somehow happens, it will be the first major expansion since the acquisition of Hawaii. And that it could be major, it could be big, but who knows? Now, the next thing I want to touch on is the whole debate regarding amount of H-1B visas. It happened last week around Christmas time and then through Friday. It was on the X and it kind of got heated. So, what I understand about these H-1B visas is that they're supposedly for high skill job, immigrants seeking that route, like computer sciences, engineering, and I don't know exactly how this debate started out, but all I know is that someone dug up a list that had director of pickleball as one of the jobs that these H-1B visa applicants have, and a lot of people wondering what's the point of this and why are we doing these? And unfortunately, Musk and Ramaswamy, they started to defend it, Ramaswamy put out this deaf statement on X, using like Whiplash, the movie Whiplash, as an example, and saying like, you work hard, Americans need to work as hard as these other people in other countries, and points to countries where you know the work ethic is different, and but also kind of miserable. The countries like Japan, where it's like just your own research, and you realize that we should not encourage this type of working or work style. And then got Musk going around squawking about why H-1B visas are great, and kind of doesn't look good with for Doge right now, especially on the Twitter space. I don't know how much of this is leaking into real life, because if it leaks into real life and people outside of X start to hear about this, it could, I don't really say spell disaster for Doge, but people may not take it as seriously as they could. And I think it can be easily remedied. We obviously probably should keep Musk around, since he is, I think, the richest man on the earth, and we need someone to with that money to help primate people that we should primate out, and not completely push him out. Like, okay, thanks for helping elect Trump. Now, bye. And then, or of course, I think Ramaswamy's political career is almost dead. That statement, I think, pretty much killed him. And my whole thoughts about these H-1B visas is, if these visa applicants are not the high skilled labor types, then we should get rid of the visa. If you can't reform it, get rid of it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So, what am I looking forward to in 25? I'm looking forward to this new administration. I do hope we see the stuff that was promised on the campaign trail. I'm excited that we're not going to have a person with basically dementia being carted around in the White House. I feel bad, especially looking back at that June debate, and kind of see it. Probably why they, his aides were pushing for that, because I think they were planning to give him the boot, and it's like they chose to replace Biden with a person who didn't even make to Iowa in the 2020 primaries. But I guess it could be worse. You know, we could be dealing with like a Mike Pence type of guy if Trump won 2020. Which, looking back, I think Trump losing 2020 is a blessing in disguise, because hopefully we're not going to be stuck with the same type of people like in his first administration. In the future, the party will be in a better shape. Like, looking back over 24, it was crazy. We got the whole weird depressed Oompa Loompa scam experience in UK. I feel bad for those workers. All the way to, the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, the iconic photo, which I believe that photo is going to be in history books, no matter where you look at it. Especially to describe the whole 24 campaign or the election. And then, Biden dropping out, Kamala coming in. Kamala choosing Tim Walz as her running mate. Brushing over the more obvious one, which is like a knucklehead decision. Like, well, obviously, that whole campaign was just full of knuckleheads. Then to election night, seeing all 7 swing states go red, and it's been a great 24. I look forward to 2025, and because the future does look bright. It does. Now, obviously, I want to talk about the future of this channel. I hope to upload a video ish about the whole speaker fight that's going to happen on in Friday. I think it's going to be at least a couple of rounds that will go through. I may try to make a map of the yes and no votes. It depends, but that'll be interesting because I think they should at least stick with the same guy instead of you know go with more chaos and you know leave that with as like a bad taste, you know, for a new year. But I do hope they make a video of that. I hope they figure out live streaming. So obviously that failed. Spent 30 minutes talking into a microphone that was muted while playing Hearts of Iron 4. Uh, it really was like a caveman smashing a rock against a window. That's how I described it. It was like kind of clues what's going on and realizing afterwards, there's no audio. But I hope to have a couple of few bigger projects in mind, like especially if this channel grows and because I have some ideas. Some ideas. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys like this. It's a little bit longer than usual. Have a happy new year. See you next year.